here I welcome Dr. M.V. Rajesh. She's associate professor in the Department of Electronic and Communication Engineering at Model Engineering College, Chitakara. And he has been associated with DRDO, AICTE, to name it, paper settlers in PSC. Okay, so thank you for associating with ASAP and welcome you to this platform. ASAP under Higher Education Department is welcoming you to this platform, and this session will be of total 1 hour duration, out of which first 20 minutes there will be the class by the sir, followed by 10 minutes question and answer session, and the same will be repeated thereafter. So I hope this session will be fruitful for all of you guys, and bear with us. And so let's start the class then.
Thank you, the team ASAP, for the wonderful opportunity to have a new learning culture that is without any boundaries. Good afternoon, attendees of this particular discussion.
Generally, we require data converters in electronic situations. We have to convert data from analog to digital and digital to analog. Therefore, naturally, there is analog to digital conversion and digital to analog conversion. Both are requirements because data need to be stored and processed, etc. Computers should be used for processing, etc. So these are all the requirements. Therefore, any data, analog data, need to be converted into digital. That is a requirement. And generally, this is how we represent an ADC operation. An ADC operation will definitely receive an analog signal, say XAT, continuous signal, which is AC in nature, some recorded music or something like that, useful signal for us. Or it can be a fixed analog voltage, VA is equal to some value. So that is for to this ADC system. And there is one reference voltage for any ADC. Meaning of that will be clear while we discuss the theory in detail. Anyway, this system is called analog to digital converter, and the output of this ADC is V0, V1, etc. up to say Vn minus 1. This means a bit stream of the kind V0, V1, etc. Vn minus 1. In such a situation, we call it as an n-bit ADC. That means our analog sequence or signal or voltage of magnitude VA is now converted into an n-bit binary equivalent Bn minus 1, etc. up to say B0. This is what the ADC is basically doing. So in an oversimplified fashion, if we say, it looks like a one-to-many kind of a mapping system. One input line and n number of output line. That is what the ADC is basically functioning. Now, if we think about the digital to analog converter, it may be looking something like this. The reverse operation could be explained something like this. We will feed the binary bit stream, that is the code binary for the digital data, B0, B1, etc. up to say Bn minus 1 to produce the analog, the continuous output. This is how the system works. The digital to analog converter. In an idealistic situation, if we are converting this n-bit data to this DAC, then exactly we should get the same input that we fed, either VA or XAT. But that may not happen because of so many errors of conversion happens for both ADC and DAC. But anyway, this is in simple what is happening to a converter process. So both are our requirement, analog to digital conversion and digital to analog conversion. First of all, we will think about the analog to digital conversion circuits, ADCs, analog to digital conversion. So many approaches are there. So some of the important techniques are, we will discuss them. Flash ADC, that is one thing. This flash ADC is also called parallel ADC. It is also called simultaneous ADC. Simultaneous ADC. Then a second approach is actually called counter type ADC. counter type ADC, and a modified version of that counter type is sometimes called tracking type ADC. It is also there. So we could put them into a single basket. Then another category of ADC is called successive approximation ADC. Successive approximation ADC. Then yet another approach for this ADC process is called single slope or dual slope. Dual slope. So they are also put into a single basket. So basically, we have these approaches. Flash ADC is one thing possible. Counter type, basically counting type of ADC is possible. And a separately put successive approximation kind of ADC is possible. And last one is a single or dual slope ADC. So these are the four major approaches in converting an analog data into digital data. That is one thing. Another point is we think about a very simple numerical example, a numerical example in which we suppose that we have a 4 volt, maximum 4 volt analog signal, or our analog voltage of interest, say VA, varies from say 0 to 4 volt. And we are trying to convert this into a digital equivalent using say 2 bits, V1, V0. So the entire range of voltages from 0 to 4 volt, we have to convert into equivalent binary code using a 2-bit ADC. So it is a 2-bit ADC. Naturally, between 0 and 4, you can have infinite number of possible values for the voltage VA. 0 can be there, 0.001 can be there, like that. Infinite possibilities are there between 0 and 4. But the limitation of this binary representation or the digital representation is that we can only have 00, 01, 10 or 11. That means only 4 distinct codes are only available. So naturally, there is a question how the infinite possible values are assigned with binary codes. It is not possible. It is not possible. So that is one limitation of the ADC operation. What we usually do in this case is, one possible approach is the entire 0 to 4 volt divided like this. Let us have voltages from 0 to 1 there, then above 1 and to 2 volt, above 2 and to up to 3 volt, and 3 to 4 or even above. What we generally now do is we will go for a crude kind of a coding approach like this. Anything from 0 to 1 will be simply represented 0, 0. Anything above 1 and below 2 will be represented 0, 1. Anything above 2 and below 3 is 1, 0. And any voltage above 3 up to 4 or even more than that can only be represented with 1, 1. So this is the limitation of our coding. That means in a range, say from 0 to 1, can have only one binary code called 0, 0. That is the limitation. Any voltage from 1 to 2 can only have a code equal to 0, 1. So around 1 volt, a range of 1 volt is totally represented with a single code. This is actually called the resolution, or it represents the ADC error. When we try to convert an analog data from analog to digital, this error will be always there. And it is possible to estimate this error, and there are approaches to reduce the error. A natural thing is why we are going for 2-bit ADC. Can we go for larger number of bits so that the representation will have more stages and your distance will be reduced and error will be reduced? Naturally, it is there. But for all these, there will be some other limitations electronically. But anyway, we may not be able to reduce this error to 0. For that, we may require either infinite bits of output for an ADC. That is not possible. That's an utopian idea. Or otherwise, the range of our input voltage should be very small. And if n is very large, then of course the error is something like that. But generally, there will be an error. It's actually generally called a quantization error. The error, total error, why we move from analog to digital. So many names are there, so we will come across such things later also. But anyway, see that whenever we move from analog to digital, naturally there is an error. Now, we think in detail about all these techniques one by one. And the first technique that we would like to discuss is a flash ADC. Flash ADC. That flash ADC is also sometimes called parallel ADC. I was mentioning it at the beginning, parallel ADC, or it is also called simultaneous ADC. And without wasting any of the time, we will directly look into how exactly this is done. What is the principle of operation of the flash ADC circuit? For that, I am trusting the same simple example. I am assuming that I am going for a 2-bit ADC. That is, my output will be V0, V1 only. That means only 4 levels. For that, in the flash ADC, it basically has a resistive network, a comparator network, and an encoder network. This is the block diagram of a flash ADC. Should we talk about resistive network, comparator network, and encoder network? We will directly now try to draw a possible arrangement and see how exactly the flash ADC is functioning. In a 2-bit output case, we have 2 raised to n resistors required, 2 raised to n minus 1 comparators are required, etc. Therefore, in this particular case, we require 3 comparators because the number of bits, the length of the output n is equal to 2. N is equal to 2 because the length of output is 2 bits. N is the number of bits at the output. So 2 raised to n is 4. 2 raised to n minus 1 comparators are required. That is the arrangement. So we require 3 comparators here. Let us draw that. The comparators, of course, they have the non-inverting and inverting terminals. Now what we do is, and we are naming or giving number to these comparators. The output of this comparator 1 is denoted C1, of the second one is denoted as C2, and of the third is denoted C3. This is taken. Of course, these are all op-amp comparators. Not the usual 741 op-amp is used here, but comparator operational amplifiers are separate, which can operate at very faster rate. Fast comparators, they are basically called. And now, after arranging the comparators like this, now what we will provide is, we will connect a resistive network to the inverting terminals of all of them, and which looks like this: R, a second R, another R, and finally an R here, and we connect the reference voltage here. So there is a voltage called reference voltage. I will tell you what it is, but anyway, it is connected like this. This is what is right. Now we have the analog voltage, which is to be converted into equivalent binary value. That analog voltage VA is now connected to the other terminals of all the op-amps. Like this. It is connected. So that voltage is denoted A, where VA is the voltage which we want to convert to digital value. Now, at the output of this comparator network, because it is C1, C2, C3, three outputs are there, but basically our requirement is to have a final output B0, V1, 2 input. And anyway, this network, which will help our C2, C3, Z1 combination to become B0 B1 combinations, because we want B0 B1 basically, is generally called an encoder, principle of which also we will discuss. Encoder. Now, having done this, we will go back to this resistive network and see what is the voltage applied to comparator C1. We can see that basically this is nothing other than a voltage divider network. See, the VR is there. 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors are connected in series to ground, and VR is applied to them. Therefore, the voltage to the inverting terminal of C1 comparator 1 is total voltage VR, total voltage VR, into value of this resistor, because the voltage at this inverting terminal is with respect to ground is the voltage across this R. Therefore, R divided by total resistor. Total resistance is R plus R plus R plus R is 4R. Therefore, we could say that the voltage applied to this terminal is nothing other than VR by 4. When we think about comparator 2, the voltage at the inverting terminal of comparator 2 is nothing other than the voltage with respect to ground, this pin with respect to ground. That means total voltage across R1 and R2, or this two R's taken together. So it is 2R divided by R. Therefore, the voltage at this terminal naturally will be 2 times VR divided by 4. When it comes to comparator 3, it is 3 times VR divided by 4. So this is what is going to happen. This is very important. So this is the voltage at this terminal, the voltage at the second comparator, this is the voltage at the first comparator. Now, process should be now like this. We assume that V is 0 initially. We are not applying any voltage, or its magnitude is equal to 0. Then at that time, what happens is all the plus terminals or the non-inverting terminals have a voltage of 0. Here also it will be 0. Here also it will be 0 at the beginning. But the inverting terminals are definitely at a potential larger than 0. For example, here it is VR by 4. Here it is 2 VR by 4. Here it is 3 VR by 4. So naturally, all the comparators are at 0, 0, 0, we could say. So this will be continuing like this. Now, there can be a change, or a possibility of change will arise when the voltage increases. Suppose the VA is steadily increasing, and at a point, suppose the voltage is crossing VR by 4. VR by 4. That means when it crosses VR by 4, the non-inverting terminal of C1 become relatively larger in potential than the inverting terminal. Therefore, C1 alone can become 1. All others will be 0, because the voltage is now larger than VR by 4 but lower than 2 VR by 4, say. But when the voltage increases above 2 VR by 4, both C1 and C2 will produce output high, because this is already VR by 4, greater than VR by 4, and if it is also greater than by 2 VR by 4, both the comparators can produce 1 output. So better we draw a table to think about the operation of the circuit. And it looks like this. I would like to draw it like this. The final output we are expecting are B0 and B1 of the ADC. Then we have comparators C1, C2, C3. E1, C2, C3. And here I would like to present the analog voltage VA. And if you look into the system and analyze like this, suppose the input voltage magnitude VA is between 0 and less than, say, VR by 4. VR by 4. This means all the comparators can only produce 0, 0, 0, because first comparator, the inverting terminal voltage is VR by 4. Naturally, all of them are 0, 0, 0. At that time, the output will be 0, 0. That is how it is called. Now, whenever the input voltage magnitude is greater than VR by 4, but less than 2 VR by 4, that means the VA is just greater than or equal to by 4, but it is less than 2 VR by 4. Then what can happen is the first comparator can produce an output 1. All others will remain at 0, 0. That will be called at 0, 1. Now, if the magnitude of the applied voltage is greater than 2 VR by 4, but less than or equal to 3 VR by 4, then what happens is comparator 1 and 2 will switch, because 1 is already switched because the voltage is larger than VR by 4. If it is again larger than 2 VR by 4, what happens is 0, 1, 1 will be the result. 0, 1. And that is called at 1, 0. Now, if we assume that the applied input voltage is larger than 3 VR by 4, then the situation will be like this. The analog voltage is greater than 3 VR by 4, and it can equal to or greater than no problem, VR. Okay, VR. Then what happens is comparator 3 will also produce a high output, because now for all the comparators, the applied voltage, that is VA, to the non-inverting terminal are much larger than that of the inverting terminals, so that all of them will produce 1, 1, 1, and that we called as 1, 1. So this is what is going to happen. This was the same thing we explained. So anything from 0 to 1 will be represented 0, 0. Anything from 1 to 0 will be represented, 1 to 2 will be represented as, so this was our requirement. This was our requirement. See, this requirement we'll just compare. Any voltage from 0 to 1 is called at 0, 0. Anything from 1 to 2, if you assume VR equal to 4 here, convenient, that is possible. Assume that VR is equal to 4. The reference voltage is 4. Then this is 1 volt, this is 2 volt, this is 3 volt. So we can directly connect to our example there. Any voltage from 0 to 1. So BR by 4 means 4 by 4, that is 1, will be represented as 0. Any voltage between 1 to 4. So there is naturally an error in the ADC operation. So if the LSB is 1 volt in magnitude, in this case, if we discuss. So an error of equal to 1 volt can be there, because anything from 2 to 3 will only be represented as 1, 0. That error is there with the conversion process. But at the same time, the operation is very fast. That is supposed to be one of the advantages of this ADC, because all the comparators are working in parallel, and therefore the total delay after application of the analog signal, the output will be produced with minimum delay, because all the comparators are parallel. Therefore, we can say that only one delay need to be computed, one comparator delay plus the delay of the encoder network only. So these are negligible negligible or very small, such that output will be immediately produced. That is why it is called a simultaneous ADC or parallel ADC, or beautifully flash ADC. Within a zero time or something, the output will be produced like this. Now the only problem here is to resolve this part of the explanation, how this encoder is basically working. So here you can see that the encoder is something like this. It looks like having three inputs like C1, C2 and C3, and it produces P0 and P1. So this how it resolves like this and accomplish this coding is what is important. It is called actually an encoder, or more precisely, it is called a priority encoder. Meaning of that is like this. Whenever, so this is first, second, and third comparators we have. If all the comparator outputs are 0, 0, 0, that is naturally 0. Then if C1 is high, C1 only is high, that means it is first 1. That is why it is called at 0, 1. When C2 is high, naturally C1 will also be high because the voltage is larger than 2 VR/4. Therefore, what happens is both when C2 is high, naturally C1 will also be high, but the priority is for C2. That means C2 is the second one. That is why it is called at 1, 0. When C1 only is high, it is the 0, 1, 1. And when C3 is high, all the C2 and C1 also will be high, but the priority is for the C3. That is why it is coded with the binary equivalent of 3, that is 1, 1. So this is actually a priority encoder, which is following this flash ADC, priority encoder. Even if you are not good in the concept of priority encoder, don't worry, we will make it very simple and see how exactly it is working. So in the next slide, we can see that. So let me discuss the final meaning of this encoder. This is our requirement. Our requirement is like this. For developing a meaningful digital circuit, it is called it's basically a combinational circuit without any memory, nothing. If we look into B0, we can see that B0 is high because the system basically is like this. C3, C2, C1 are the input. B1, B0 are the input. So this is a binary, digital system with the 3 inputs and 2 outputs. And we are trying to map it like this. B0 is high for 2 combinations of C3, C2, C1. For example, 0, 0, 1, B0 is high. 0, 0, 1 means C3 bar, C2 bar, C1 we could say. Or it is high for, naturally, this is a 1, 1, 1 combination. That means C3, C2, C1 combination, which can be further simplified by keeping C1 outside and C3 bar, C2 bar, or C3, C2. So we'll make it, okay, C3, C2. In fact, this is equal to, this is something like A bar, B bar, or AB. That is nothing other than A XNOR B. So if we use that, C1 and C3 XNOR C2, not XOR, XNOR. So this is one simplified form of B0. We can definitely use K-map also for this. If it is larger bit output, then this kind of a simple Boolean algebra commutations may not be very easy for us. And now look into P1. P1 is high for 2 combinations. One is 0, 1, 1. That means C3 bar, C2, C1, or 1, 1, 1. That means C3, C2, C1, which could be simplified as, we could take C2, C1 common can be taken outside. What remains is C3 bar or C3. So this is 1. Therefore, it is finally C2, C1. And the conclusion is B0 is this. B0 is this, and B1 is this. Therefore, we can naturally draw the system, the encoder system, like this. From the comparator side, etc., we have these things available to us. The C3, C2, C1 things are available to us. So that could be encoded. That is our requirement. So I will put it like this. Let us just take this. This is what we are going to do. So this is over there. This is this was available from the comparator section. The comparator outputs are C1, C2 and C3, C1, C2 and C3. Now what is B1? B1 is C2, C1. So you have an AND gate here, C2, C1. This is your B1. What is B0? C1, of course, you can draw it with another color, I think. C1 and C1. C1 and C3 XNOR C2. C3 is here. C2 is there. This is XNOR C3, C2. This is B0. So this is actually a possible way of arranging the encoder. So what we have finally arrived at is we have a set of comparators, and that comparators compare the input voltage with the reference. Some voltage is derived out of the reference, and accordingly in steps it is coded. So the conclusion regarding this type of an ADC is that it requires 2 raised to n resistors. We have seen that equal value. 2 raised to n minus 1 comparators. Then of course an encoder network. Encoder work. With this, it is finally possible to convert the given analog voltage PA into a digital code, but with an error like this. So this is what is happening with our flash ADC. It is called flash because the outputs are produced at faster rate. But if you think about a practical case of, say, something like an 8-bit or a 4-bit kind of 8-bit kind of ADC, analog to digital converter, then we require 2 raised to n minus 1 is equal to 255 comparators. 255 comparators and that much of resistors, etc. This is why this particular circuit called a flash ADC is not very popular, especially the VLSI design people won't appreciate this, because you require 255 comparator means the chip area will be increasing, so that the package density may not be able to arrive at, etc. So many issues are there with the flash ADC if we think very seriously about implementing this. But at the same time, as a first circuit in converting in analog to digital, and basically very simple in its conversion process, this is a popular circuit. So it is mainly used in places where we require very fast operation or very quick responses, especially when we try for huge data storages and communication like satellite communication or high bandwidth requirements, etc. Or in some fast DSO, digital storage oscilloscope kind of system, where it has to store the data at faster rate, or in data acquisition systems, etc. Definitely, we may use this analog to digital converter called flash ADC, but at the same time, it has very serious limitations as far as fabrication technologies are concerned, package density, etc. are concerned, because of the requirement of large number of comparators and resistor values. Another point is, as we have seen in our circuit, all these resistors are of equal value, R.
The question is, what is the main purpose of converting analog signal to digital signal? Another question, will not introduction of decoder between A bar D and output kill the main purpose of flash converter?
So there is a question on what is the very purpose of this analog to digital converter. This I was mentioning at the beginning, I think, because previously we were dealing only with analog signal and electronic circuits, which basically deal with analog signal processing in a broader sense. Your amplifier, clipping circuit, clamp circuit, wave shaping circuit, all of them are dealing with continuous kind of signals. But when the computing technology has evolved, especially the storage of data has become a requirement, transmission of data has become a requirement, and the power of computer can be very well used for signal and data processing and acquisition. In such cases, the computer only knows the language of binary, zeros and ones, digital. Therefore, it's a natural requirement to sample, store the analog or the continuous data into digital form. So that is the requirement of ADC. So we cannot process the continuous time signal as such in a computer. So or even a dedicated hardware like embedded systems, etc. All of them are basically work with binary data. Therefore, naturally, we require analog to digital conversion. And there is another question. Subsequently, somebody can ask, what is the requirement of digital to analog converter? After the processing, for example, a music signal, you convert that into ones and zeros, process inside the DSP system or the computer system. If that is fed to a loudspeaker, it won't make any sense, zeros and ones. Therefore, naturally, for outside communication and to understand the data in details, the zeros and ones are only convenient for the computer's hardware, but it is not convenient for us. Therefore, naturally, if we want to convert that back into analog, and that's why we require a digital to analog converter. Then another question, I couldn't clearly get it. Somebody was asking about the introduction of this decoder system. This decoder system means whether it will kill the purpose of the conversion. I think you're asking about the speed. Of course, the introduction of encoder system like this, it's not decoder, it's an encoder. Encoder system naturally introduces a delay in that, but we may not be able to do without that. Because if you are thinking about an 8-bit converter situation, we require 2 raised to 8 minus 1. That means 255 comparators. The comparator output directly cannot be treated as the binary output. That may be the question, I think. It has to be then a system with 255 inputs and say 8 outputs. Because basically, if you're thinking about an 8-bit analog to digital converter, the direct output of the comparator is not the binary equivalent because 256 lines are there. So from that 256 lines, using the priority encoder, we have to map it to an 8-bit output. So we cannot do without the encoder. Please understand that. And of course, in the introduction of this encoder can naturally disturb the speed of operation. The overall speed of operation will be affected, but we may not be able to do the business without that. So that is all about the requirement of that encoder circuit in a flash ADC.
Can you please explain the concept of VR divided by 4R while voltage to inverting terminal of the comparator?
So, okay, there is a question on, so there is an inquiry on that voltage divider network. We have a reference voltage VR, and in an n-bit analog to digital converter, there will be n resistors. That is the arrangement. So here, 2 raised to n resistors. Here it is a 2-bit ADC. Therefore, we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 resistors over there in the network. And naturally, the voltage across one resistor that is connected to C1, only one resistor R, is total resistor total voltage VR divided by 4. I think that the meaning of voltage division is clear. Why it is applied to the negative terminal is one question, I think. It is just to keep a positive logic in the encoder design, because whenever our analog voltage is going above the reference voltages, which we have assigned by dividing the total reference voltage, then the corresponding comparator output becomes 1, 1, 1. So that will be finally slightly easy for us to handle our K-map design for the encoder, which I was explaining in the last. Otherwise also you can in principle operate this, but with a little bit of difficulty in handling it. Okay, the positive logic is somewhat easy to handle. Positive logic in digital system means 0 will be low state will be represented with 0 and high state will be represented with a 1. And inverse logic is also possible in Boolean algebra, but naturally we prefer this kind of a positive logic. That is one reason by which the circuit is arranged. Otherwise, the comparator, if you interchange, it won't be a problem. We can anyway find out the, switching behaviors. That is possible. Any more questions or?
Sir, the number of comparators need will be huge for an 8-bit flash ADC. If there any method to reduce the number of comparators? The student named Mani has asked, the number of comparators need will be huge for an 8-bit flash ADC. Is there any method to reduce the number of comparators?
There is a natural inquiry on, is there any approaches in the flash ADC system itself to reduce the number of comparators? For example, the attendee who has asked the question was saying that if you are going for an 8-bit analog to digital converter, we require 2 raised to n minus 1. That means 255 comparators. Of course, there is a method to reduce the number of comparators in the flash ADC system itself. It is actually called half flash ADC or sub-range flash ADC. In that, what we are basically doing is, if it is an 8-bit example itself, we will segregate the 4 least significant bits as one category and the most significant 4 bits as another category. So we call them LSB group and MSB group, and each section will be now implemented using 4-bit flash ADCs. Some arrangement is there, but anyway, a 4-bit ADC may require 2 raised to 4 minus 1. That means 15 comparators only. Such 2 sections are there, one for the LSB section and one for the USB section. Therefore, 15 into 2, 30 comparators only will be required. That is called actually half flash ADC system. When we segregate it like that, there comes some combinational circuit in between to combine this and arrange it in a the output. It may look like only as an 8-bit ADC. It will introduce additional delay. If you are ready to cope up with certain amount of delay than the natural 8-bit direct flash ADC, then of course we can go for half flash ADC kind of an arrangement, which will give you much of the chip area saving, because the number of comparators will come down to 30 from 255. That is possible, but it is at the cost of increased delay in getting the final output, or the total conversion time will be increasing.